All right, fastest 15 minutes in social media, fastest 15 minutes on the internet. Um, going to do some African spirituality today because just sick of all the other BS out here. Anyway, I want to talk to y'all about alternative reality. Alternative reality, which is what the Bible is. The Bible is a book of spells, curses, and incantations written in the 16th century and authorized, of course, by King James, who was a pedophile and also a homosexual. And, um, I think he also practiced incest. So he was a very sexual deviant person. So when you're reading the Bible, always keep that in the back of your mind. The next thing is that most of the Old Testament. Now, there's a lot of wisdom in the Old Testament, but here's the thing: you have to know how it was coded in order to figure it out. And then the New Testament is basically the whole Jesus thing is basically just a big spell. All right, but we can go back to the Old Testament. This is for all my people who write in and say, I don't know what I'm talking about or whatever. So I just want to give y'all a few basic curses that are in the Bible, and we look at them as being very innocent, or there are certain stories in the Bible that they are, they're there, to basically to put a curse upon the indigenous people of the earth. So that's what it's all about. It has nothing to do with anything like that. So the first thing is, like, everybody knows about the Passover, right? Passover is the curse over black men. It's the curse over black men. Because who was the firstborn of Israel? That's why I can't understand why you would call yourself a Hebrew Israelite, because all you're doing is you're playing into the curse. And what was it? It was that that Pharaoh. I'm sorry, firstborn of Egypt. I got that mixed up. Anyway, it's the other way around. Firstborn of Egypt. So why you call yourselves all this stuff? So what it is it's the way that spiritually black on black crime, or black men kill black men. Think about it. So then there's no proof of any of those stories. There are no structures in Kemet that were built. There are no pyramids that were built that were commingled, like the story says, that were commingled with straw because they made their labor harder and all this kind of stuff, and they wouldn't let the people go, and so they sent the Passover over all the Egyptians. Well, we are the Egyptians. So they allowed what? They allowed these people to kill our people. And then what does it also talk about? It talks about mixed multitudes of people on the Exodus. So that the whole Exodus story is just like, it's a curse. They wandered. Okay, so when they left, they wandered for 40 years in the wilderness. And I believe I saw like a map, and it's put it this way, it's less than 100 miles. But it took them 40 years to get to this promised land because they wandered endlessly, right, in the wilderness, desert, whatever you want to call it, right? And what we don't realize is the scriptures, what do they say? They say, call those things that be not as though they were. Right? That's one of y'all, all y'all Bible thumpers, that's one of y'all favorites right there. Call those things that be not as though they were. Right? Well, that's what you're doing is you're actually in the spiritual realm, you're creating an alternate universe, or a parallel universe, or an alternate reality. And that's all lying is, because basically that's telling you to lie about something until it becomes true. So the Bible is the manifest destiny, the manifestation of the destiny of the white race. And it is the destruction of the black race. Just like if you go to Deuteronomy and you talk about the blessings and the curses, right? Well, read those blessings and curses, right? Well, if you read them, The blessings are all for what? For the white folks. The curses are all for the black folks. True? And y'all be talking about y'all getting, but the manifestation of it, no matter what you say, the only one getting rich in the church is the pastor. And that's because he's stealing. Think about it. So that's why we tell y'all to get rid of religion. Because it's dangerous, especially if you don't know what you're saying and what you're doing. See, the only way that you can be alleviated of these type of spiritual attacks is that you understand them and you know what they are. Just like I'm not part, my people were smart enough not to wander in the wilderness for 40 years. And also, the other thing is, and that's why, look, what happened to Moses? He never reached enlightenment, because that's what it's really talking about. It's talking about ascending through your chakras and then reaching enlightenment. He never did. And then later on, they come along, they bring other people, and they give other people credit for the good things. Is basically, once again, and I don't know why this keeps coming up in my mind, but it's like a Donald Trump type situation. Donald Trump takes credit for everything good, and everything bad he blames on somebody else. No accountability. He lacks accountability. First thing, what's my favorite one? What happened, Adam? It was that woman that you gave me. Everything was cool till she came along. So and also, once again, going to something else I was talking about, they were trying to make it into a patriarchal system. The woman is not smart enough. She was not smart enough to follow the directions of God, when she was God. Because when she told Adam to eat from when she gave the fruit to Adam, she was trying to strengthen him. She wasn't trying to hurt him. So they flipped the script from Kemetic spirituality into their own little religious thing. And also, what else was introduced in the Old Testament, in the Torah? What else was introduced? What? Turning women into prostitutes, right? Rahab. The prostitutes helped us. The world's oldest profession. Let's talk about Lot giving his daughters up to be raped. Purim, where you send your daughter out into the wilderness to get, to have sex with whatever man, which is basically Estar or Easter, the whole thing. That's the same curse. It's a sexual ritual. Communion, Holy Communion, what is it? It's an Akashic ritual. Eating flesh, drinking blood. It emulates the Akashic ritual. That's all it does. And I guess, some churches do it every time they have service. Some churches do it like once a month or whatever. But that's what that ritual is. What is the Nicene Creed? It's a incantation. Giving who power? Giving power to white folks and taking power away from you. And you sit there in the pews and you say it, not even thinking. But it's an incantation. And it was put there by the ruling aristocracy. That ain't nothing from God. That's why I say you gotta understand what it is you're reading and know what it is you're reading. Now I know certain spiritual workers, let's call them that, right? Light workers, right? They use these things from the Bible, but they flip the script on the Bible. Because words are what? Words are powerful. Spelling, that's why I say, and people I like, look, you don't even understand half the words that you're saying. Once again, Webster was a high-level warlock and witch and high-level European Mason. The words that are in there are not what you think they are. And they also get people just like you remember, like, yeah, man, he's bad. You bad. Shoot, man, she bad. Right? So you change, so you take the word, now what's the new one? Ratchet or savage. So you call yourself ratchet or you call yourself savage. What are you actually really saying about yourself? And why do you think that during slavery, why do you think your language and your culture and your history was stripped away from you so that you wouldn't know what you were talking about? Why do you think at first they wouldn't allow us to read the Bible? They didn't want you to read the Bible. There was always what? There was an overseer. That's why when these people call themselves overseers of churches, it's like, do you really know what you're talking about? Do you really know what you're saying that you are? You're overseeing so that they won't get the true meaning of what's being taught in the church. Just like because they really don't want you to know the Exodus story, because it talks about freeing somebody. So they don't want you to be free. But then you got other things in the Bible that say what? Be a good slave to your master. That kind of stuff is pleasing to God. Women, be quiet in the church. You got to think about what you read. And we take it blindly because what? We've been indoctrinated into it for so long that we don't even, it's like it's an unconscious thing. It's in your subconscious. And that's why I say you have to meditate spiritually. You have to meditate, and even your prayer life, whatever you're doing, when you're talking to yourself, right? Because that's what prayer and meditation really is. And it's talking to yourself and telling yourself, this is what I have to do. Just like I used to be a horrible procrastinator. So I had to talk to myself and say, look, you can't do this anymore. And eventually the same thing with my weight. I used to be 433 pounds. And I was like, look, I got to change this or I'm going to be dead, I remember going to the doctor. He told my wife at the time, he was like, look, just buy him a casket. So you'll be ready to bury him because he's going to die soon. So, but the same thing, so people, just like the when I talk about the premature death psalm, which is Psalm 90. Everybody talks about Psalm 91, but read the psalm before it. It talks about you dying young. But you don't know that. See that, and that's what I'm trying to say. And people, they want to act like, oh, you're evil and this, that, and the other thing. No, the thing that's evil is once again, it's the law of correspondence and the law of polarity. Everything has an opposite. Your job as a human being is to put everything in balance. So your job is not to get too high, not to get too low, to vibrate at a certain level, and really to vibrate higher and to get your level to the level of enlightenment. But they don't teach you that in church. They're not going to teach you that, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. That's what that's about. Even though they didn't know it when they was writing it. But the light, you trying to reach the light. You started off in the darkness, in the root, you went all the way up, and then you trying to reach the light. And when you get to the light, then that's when you reach your Christ consciousness. Not Jesus Christ, but your Christ. You are, say your name, and then say Christ, and that's your enlightened state. Your seventh chakra ain't even inside of your body. Your seventh chakra is outside of your body, where you're going to go anyway. And that's what I'm saying. But you might as well go there with knowledge and wisdom. What my pastor used to say, I'm preaching better than y'all shouting. Bishop, I love you, Bishop, wherever you are in the universe, I love you. But anyway, It's not saying nothing bad. It's just saying, look, y'all need to get enlightened. Stop letting these people trick you into believing that you're inferior and they're superior, because it really ain't true. Anyway, fast 15 minutes is up. I gotta go. Like button, subscribe button, all the buttons. Hit the buttons, but most of all, hit the love button. I love you all.